and the curtains hung loose against the window, allowing the afternoon light to pour into the room, washing everything in a warm, golden glow. The silence carried a heartbeat of its own, punctuated only by the soft rhythm of breathing. On the bed, two women lay tangled in the kind of closeness that didn't need words, only warmth and trust. The auburn-haired woman, her curls spilling like fire over her shoulders, wore a silk robe of jade green that glistened under the sunlight. It clung loosely to her frame, teasing at the softness hidden beneath, brushing lightly against the bare skin of her thighs. Across from her, leaning back against the pillows, the black-haired woman gazed up at her with eyes heavy with tenderness and fire. Her black satin slip, thin straps falling from her shoulders, revealed curves lit like sculpture under the glow of daylight. They were opposite, yet they fit together with seamless perfection. Auburn flame and raven shadow, one poised in playful dominance, the other resting in a surrender that wasn't weakness, but trust. The world outside had vanished, traffic, voices, time itself. There was nothing left except this bed, this moment, and the rhythm of two hearts meeting again and again. The auburn-haired woman leaned closer, her curls brushing her lover's cheeks, her robe falling open just enough to send a whisper of heat through the air. Their lips hovered inches apart, teasing at contact. "Do you feel it?" she whispered, her voice low, almost like a spell. The black-haired beauty smiled faintly, tracing a hand up the sleeve of her partner's robe, her fingers brushing over silk before resting against her shoulder. Every second, every breath, it feels like forever waiting here. They kissed slowly, deeply, lips molding into lips as if they had been carved for this very purpose. Their kiss was not hurried, not fleeting. It was deliberate, filled with the weight of years of longing compressed into a single meeting of mouths. Breath became sighs, sighs melted into whispers, and the silence around them thickened until it seemed the entire universe had paused to watch. The auburn-haired woman shifted, lowering herself until her body pressed softly against her partner's. The robe slid further, exposing the curve of her shoulder and the glow of her collarbone. The black-haired woman's hands trailed along her sides, feeling the warmth, the softness, the electricity that hummed through every touch. They weren't simply lying together, they were discovering each other in every detail, in every spark that leapt between them. "You undo me," the dark-haired woman whispered, her words catching between kisses. Her lover smiled against her lips. "Good, let's stay and done together." They laughed, breathless, before kissing again, longer this time, slower, their mouths opening to taste more of each other. The auburn-haired beauty's curls tumbled forward, creating a curtain of fire around their faces, cocooning them in private heat. The world beyond the curtains no longer existed. They became the entire landscape, sheets that held them like soft valleys, light that carved their skin into glowing shapes, shadows that played like silent witnesses on the walls. Every move they made seemed cinematic, as if captured in high definition, the kind of scene that would play in someone's memory forever. The black-haired woman traced her fingers along her lover's jaw, brushing against her lips, memorizing the softness. She whispered, "Stay here, don't ever move from me." The auburn-haired woman kissed her palm. "I couldn't leave if I tried. You're the gravity that holds me." Their bodies pressed closer, every curve aligning as though the bed had been made for their embrace. Heat radiated between them, not chaotic, but deep and steady, like a flame that promised never to burn out. They moved slowly, savoring every moment, as if time would bend to their will if only they kissed deeply enough, held each other tightly enough. Every sigh was music, every kiss was a verse. Together, they were writing a song that no one else could hear, yet anyone listening would feel its heat echo in their own chest. The auburn-haired woman trailed her lips along her partner's neck, tasting the faint sweetness of skin kissed by sunlight. The black-haired woman closed her eyes, her breath catching as her fingers dug lightly into the sheets. "You're fire," she whispered shakily. "You're the fire I always dreamed of." Her lover lifted her head, eyes glowing with a mix of love and heat. "Then let me burn with you." Their mouths found each other again, this time more urgent, yet still tender, still wrapped in trust. They kissed until there was no air left, until their lungs demanded release, only to return to the embrace with even greater need. In those moments, they weren't just women in a room. They were everything, the stars collapsing into each other, oceans surging, entire universes finding alignment. The love between them wasn't ordinary, it was cinematic, explosive, eternal. They lay back against the pillows, tangled limbs, tangled breaths, tangled lives. The auburn-haired beauty pressed her forehead to her partner's, eyes closed, lips still brushing hers. "This is where I want to stay," she whispered, almost asleep, almost awake, caught in the dream they had made real. Her partner kissed her nose gently, smiling. "Then let's never wake up. Let's live here, in this moment, for every night, for every day." The room glowed with the warmth of their love, safe yet hot, tender yet powerful. 1,000 couples listening would feel the heat through every word, through every breath, their hearts stirred awake by the fire of two souls who had chosen to burn together. It was more than a scene, more than a night. It was the eternal truth of love, soft, hot, safe, and unforgettable. And so, they kissed again, losing themselves in the moment, certain that nothing, not time, not silence, not the world outside could ever take this away. And the world outside shifted toward evening, but inside their room, the glow of intimacy lingered as if the sun itself had decided to stay. Shadows lengthened across the walls, yet the light from their connection kept everything warm, alive, eternal. The auburn-haired woman nestled closer, her silk robe slipping slightly, pooling at her waist. Her partner, dark-haired and radiant, traced idle circles along her arm, memorizing the softness as though she could etch it into eternity. Their breathing sank slow, deep, carrying the rhythm of two hearts that no longer needed to beat alone. "I could spend lifetimes here," the black-haired woman whispered, her voice trembling with honesty. Her lover smiled, her curls spilling like copper flames across the pillow. "Then let's promise to meet in every lifetime, no matter the time, no matter the place." Their kiss returned gentle first, then fierce, as if sealing the vow with fire. Their mouths moved with hunger, but underneath it lay tenderness, the kind of passion that built, that lingered, that nourished instead of consuming. Their lips slid apart only to find each other again, desperate to erase any space between them. The auburn-haired beauty shifted, pressing her body fully against her partner's. The black satin slip whispered against silk as fabric tangled and slid, heat radiating between them. The room filled with their sighs, with the quiet music of devotion, dressed in desire. Every motion felt cinematic, as though captured by a lens that saw only the truth of their passion. The auburn-haired woman traced her lips along her partner's jaw, down to the delicate edge of her collarbone, before returning to her lips again. Each kiss was both a spark and a promise, soft yet blazing, tender yet undeniable. The black-haired woman's hands trailed along her back, fingertips pressing lightly, pulling her closer. She whispered between breaths, "You're every dream I never dared to tell, every secret I wanted the night to keep." Her lover cupped her face, holding her steady, her eyes glowing with fire. "And you are the answer to every dream I didn't know I was allowed to have." They paused, staring into each other's eyes, their foreheads pressed together. Outside, the light dimmed into the deep hues of twilight, the sky painting itself with shades of violet and gold. But inside, the heat grew, as though their love lit its own horizon. They kissed again, this time slower, deeper, letting the world fall away. Their mouths opened, breaths mingling, every second charged with a heat that curled into the soul. They didn't need words anymore. Their lips, their hands, their closeness spoke more than language ever could. The auburn-haired woman let out a soft laugh, breaking the kiss only to press her lips to her lover's cheek. "You're too much," she teased softly, though her voice carried no complaint. Her partner smiled against her skin. "And still not enough. I want more, always more." Their embrace deepened, bodies moving as though guided by instinct, by a rhythm older than time. Sheets shifted, silk and satin sliding, the world narrowing down to the hearts and the heat flowing between them. Their love was not rushed, it was drawn out, savored, Every moment stretched like golden light across endless skies. They whispered confessions into each other's skin, soft truths carried on warm breath. I'm yours, you undo me. Don't stop, stay. Each phrase became another spark in the fire they built, until the room itself seemed to hum with warmth. At last, exhausted but radiant, they settled into the pillows again, their bodies tangled, their faces still so close that their lips brushed with every sigh. The auburn-haired beauty tucked a strand of black hair behind her lover's ear, her smile dreamy. Do you realize what we've done tonight? She murmured. Her partner's eyes fluttered open, glowing with softness. We've rewritten the world, and perhaps they had. For outside their window, the stars had risen, infinite and eternal, but none brighter than the fire burning quietly between two women in a bed, lost in each other's warmth. The night stretched endlessly, and with it, the promise of more kisses, more whispers, more love that could never fade. They were not just women in love, they were eternity captured in skin and silk, satin and sighs. Every couple listening would feel it, the heat, the tenderness, the safety, the passion. Every word carried the rhythm of love, inviting hearts to burn, to soften, to remember that intimacy is both fire and shelter. And so the night continued, infinite in warmth, a story etched not in pages but in touch, not in ink but in heat. They kissed once more softly, sweetly, sealing the truth. Love like this would never end.